Hello everyone and welcome back to another. In today's video we are going to be going over the best updated teams in my opinion for the demonic beast. So we're doing every demonic beast, so we're doing bird, deer, dogs, Nidhogg and rat, as well as for floor 4 of bird as well, which we're sort of going to cover in bird because realistically the best team for floor 4 is also the best team for floors 1 to 3. Firstly, of course, onto bird, which has 4 floors. This team, by a mile, is one of the best teams. Realistically, you want everyone. There's only one person on this team that I believe you can switch out, and that is Nabe, and that would be for Freya. Freya is quite good. Once again, you're not really getting too much out of him. You're not really getting any card usage out of him. What I mean by that is his ultimate, once again, is death damage. Very good. But the problem is, he doesn't really have any effects on his skills that would help with phase 3. Nabe only has one, which is her ultimate, but once again, it's still quite useful. Freya doesn't have that, but what Freya does have is a 20% basic stat boost with his relic, because once again he works with unknowns and Ragnarok. The entire team is unknown, and a single target damage boost, which bear in mind your entire team has single targets apart from Thor's ultimate and Magelda's healing skill, which means most of your skills are getting a 20% damage boost, as well as you're getting a 20% basic stat boost. Not only that, but with his passive, you also get buffs as well, which is increase all stats by 5% for 5 turns. You can get 3 of these buffs at once, so you get a 15% all stat boost for all your characters. Once again, it's quite handy. You do have 2 amplify characters, that being Shion and Magelda. Once again, I still prefer to use Nabe, only because Nabe, turn 1, 40% attack boost. As well as that, when you use her ultimate, you then get another 30% basic stat boost. So what do you get? A 70% attack boost with fully maxed out everything. With Freya, you only end up getting about 35% attack boost, once again with a 15% all stat boost, which is pretty handy. And I would say it's maybe a little bit handier than Nabe's attack boost, but Nabe's constant attack boost is really nice. Not only that, her ultimate is Power Strike, which once again works on phase 3, but also her ultimate is actually really handy on phase 4. And so is Freya's. Freya's is probably a million times better, but once again, Nabe's is quite good because it has a power. It's like an insane defense phase, a defense-related stat phase, which is Power Strike, so she can do a lot of damage, like an actual catastrophic amount of damage. Gear-wise on this team, we have attack crit on Thor, we have HP defense on Nabe, we have attack crit on Shion, who will be our tank. That's the reason why she's also called Ratomio. And then we have HP defense perfect gear, but it is not engraved. You don't need to engrave Magelda's gear on Magelda. Magelda sometimes does take a lot of damage, but once again, if you really worried that much, you can True Awakener. I personally don't need to, and I wouldn't really recommend it unless you really have to. And then for links, everyone's rocking HP defense apart from Cyril, who's rocking attack crit once again to boost Thor's damage. Card set, we're running increased basic stats by 10%, if, just generally in Demonic Beast. And then, of course, if you have food poisoning, you get a 10% defense boost, which, once again, this Demonic Beast doesn't have food poisoning debuff, so we're all good here. Once again, you can switch this out if you don't want to run this one to filter by content, and then we go Demonic Beast. You can run this one instead, which is a 15% attack-related stat boost, which is also quite handy as well, especially if you're not running Freya. Once again, he provides 15%, I guess you could say, attack-related substats. When his passive is maxed, you could immediately get this. And this may actually be a better shout, once again, if you're also not struggling with tanking. So if Magelda's tanking fine, if Shion's tanking fine, if Nabe's tanking fine, it may actually be worth running this attack-related stats card set, only because then you'll be putting out even more damage, critting more often, which is handy on the later phases, especially critting is kind of needed. And that's really it for bird. On to deer. So deer, once again, you're going to see quite a common trend. It's mainly going to be unknowns, at least for the first 3. That is because these demonic beasts didn't really have many gimmicks, or at least the first 2 didn't really have many gimmicks. So once again, Yorm's unknown and Ragnarok, so you might as well put the full unknown and Ragnarok team. Shion here really pops off. There is only, I think, 1 card on this team that is not that is AoE. Oh yeah, there is a single card on this team that is not AoE, and that is Thor's ultimate. And once again, with Shion's passive, every time you play 3 skills, if they're single targets, your team gets a crit chance and a crit damage buff, which once again for a team like this is going to be quite handy. You've got Yorm, who's going to be providing you with lots of all stats. You've got Freya going to be providing you with a single target boost as well as a basic stat boost and the all stat boost from his buffs. You've got Shion who's going to provide you with damage reduction as well as the crit chance crit damage boost, as well as being a primary DPS on a team like this. This team is very good. You don't need much tank. Everyone can run attack crit. I think everyone's running attack crit apart from, I believe, Yorm, who's running attack defense. Apart from that, everyone else is running attack crit. Links wise, everyone's running attack crit. These two are running attack crit. I would change Millum to attack crit, but I was just running Millum HP defense, so that's what she's got on currently. I want to get attack crit here. For card set, you can go with the basic stat boost one or the attack related stat boost one. I would probably actually recommend the attack related stat boost one. I don't actually know why I have the basic stat boost one on there. Oh, because I was using Lods, and you can't use that. Okay, cool. But yeah, this is once again another really good card set. They're all unknown, they all work really well together, and with the extra crit chance boost, this team is going to be melting like deer really quick. If you don't have Red Freya, or you just, let's say you don't have him, Freya is pretty good, wherever she is. Red Freya here is pretty good. You do need a red character, preferably an unknown. There are not many good red unknowns. You have the new Millum as well, you can use her. She isn't the best, once again, she does sort of exceed more in PvP than PvE. Once again, Gelda, also very good shout for this team. Yes, she only really works with demons, but because you have so much lifesteal, she can sort of max out her own passive super quickly, and that's really handy. And now on to dogs. So dogs, I just run Albedo because it's really easy. You can't run Thor and Tonar on the same team because they are the same person. So you don't have the insane death damage. You can run humans. You can run a full human team, and that's pretty good. I preferably like to stick with a team like this, only because Shion has Cleanse, which is kind of nice. Freya here, once again, has death damage, but also stance removal and ignite immunity, which is kind of really, really clutch. And then once again, Albedo has absurd countage. You can replace Albedo with Baldir. Once again, another really good counter character. Not only that, he'll then boost your defense whenever you apply stance, which is kind of handy. And also with the team like this, Freya's Relic works like completely well. Like, it fully works with everyone. Even though, once again, Tonar is a human, she is a Ragnarok as well. That means you still get the 20% basic stat boost, the 20% single target damage boost, and once again, the 3 buffs like he normally provides. So once again, damage reduction, HP related stats, attack related stats. Gear wise, this team's a little bit more finicky. So everyone's rocking attack crit, apart from Tonar, who has abysmal crit resistance. So she is rocking HP crit resistance gear with the resistance rolls one side and defense rolls the other. And then for here, we are just running the immunity to freeze set, which is the set you want to be using on this demonic beast anyway, because you don't really want to be frozen, especially once again if you're running Yorm. No, sorry, not Yorm. Albedo, or you just, you don't really want your DPS to be frozen. I know technically Shion does have a cleanse, but it freezes during their turn, the dog's turn, meaning that if you have an Albedo stance up and then you get frozen, once again, your stance is going to be useless, it disappears, which is slightly a problem. Apart from that, links wise don't really matter. I would recommend Tarmiel on Tonar. That's the only one I would actually recommend, because Tonar is squishy. With the extra damage reduction, it's not that bad, and with the extra all stats, it's not too bad either. But still, she's taking an absurd amount of damage, especially if you get some of the worst passives, which can lower your crit resistance by literally up to 50%, which is absurd. And that is one of the, I think, one of the ones you get on floor 1 or floor 2. Let's find out. This one, yeah, because it stacks per dog. So that's a 50% crit resistance and crit defense lower. You really do want to run Red Tarmiel on Tonar, if not you will take so much damage. Other teams, humans work quite fine. You put the new Escanor on this team, you put Arthur on this team, and then you can run Lance. Lance isn't too bad. Lilia also isn't too bad either. Humans you don't really have a good range of characters to use. You wouldn't use Barn because he's debuff based. Lance is okay. He's definitely usable. The higher level he is, the better. Lily is actually quite good. Her damage is surprisingly good. And once again, she does have a damage reduction. Her damage cap, which is 50%, and her attack related stat increase. Her basic stat boost doesn't really work with her relic too well, because once again, debuffs on demonic beasts are not very common, of course, apart from Rat, where they are sort of needed. On to Nidhoggr, where you don't really have a choice. You sort of start with goddesses. There are many teams you can use, but optimized best team, it's goddesses by a mile. they just have so much going for them. Not only do they have 2 characters which are literally built for Nidhogg, Freya has a Nidhogg relic, and then this is Summer Margaret, who is free recently and also works on. She's the Nidhogg character. So let's just say for some reason you don't have Summer Margaret, you can run Blue LR Margaret. She also works as well. She'll also work. I have done it like with a really B-Tech team, with like when my friend, he couldn't really do Nidhogg, so I just logged onto his account and done it for him. I showed him how to do it. I used Blue Margaret and Green Freya. I would not recommend either of them if you have them, if you could make this team. This team is the best team by a mile. You don't want Green Freya because it makes it a lot more. You think it'd be better because you know her single targets, you know their stances. Phase 2, floor 3 will be a nightmare, and it will take you ages, like a lot longer than it normally should. That's why I recommend Red Freya. And once again, Red Margaret, she provides you with the immediate like 40% basic stats, which is lovely and much better than Blue, which does take you, I think you have to use about 5 buffs on your entire team to reach the 40% basic stat boost, which, you know, it's not really worth it. And this Margaret's also, she's got a cleanse card, damage reduction, attack related stat increase, stance removal, damage increase, HP, she's got healing, she's got damage increase for Archangels. She's just better to go with. Gear wise, HP defense, and then I run Mael attack crit, because Mael's going to be your main DPS, and I run Freya attack defense, so that means she is targeted, but she also has quite a bit of tank. She's also got Ratamil as well, so she can tank a little bit better. Of course, there are still problems, like there's like RNG problems where on phase 2, floor 3, there is a chance, doesn't matter, you could have the tankiest character in the game, but if you don't pull cards to that character, you still will be one shot, and there is nothing you can do about it. And that's the unfortunate RNG of Nidhogg. Card set wise, we do once again, we just run the attack related stat one. I don't know why I've got that rat one on all of them for some reason. But yeah, you want to run the attack related stat one. They're all goddesses. Even though Freya is an unknown, her relic makes her a goddess. And she gets 10% attack related stats per goddess, including herself. So it's a 40% attack related stat boost for her. Her relic gives your entire team 20% all stats. Margaret's giving her 40% basic stats. Liz is giving her 30% basic stats. If you have 6/6 Liz, that's another 30% attack related stats. Miles giving her 20% damage reduction. She's going to be quite tanky, and she's going to dish out a lot of damage, which is why I recommend Red. Also, Red gives herself 7% attack related stats because of her passive. And now on to the final one, the biggest boy of them all, the Rat. Probably still one of the most irritating demonic beasts in the game. These two are sort of like, you need these two, so if you don't have Blue Valenti and you don't have Red LR Liz, who's currently free, you can get her for free with the current event, you literally can't do this content. You can, but you have to use another specific team, which I would not recommend in a million years. Skadi, Blue Skadi can be changed out for this LR Glocks, who I would actually recommend if you are struggling with tankiness. Definitely switch out to Red LR Glocks. Shion's quite good. You can't have a human, a goddess, or whoever your third slot is, so either a fairy or a giant. So unknowns are quite good bets. Thor, really good. Shion's really good as well. Demons. There's 2 demons I'd actually recommend. LR Zell's quite good, and Demon King Melee. Once again, of course, Demon King Melee is going to be good for it. It's passive cleanse. The only problem with Melee's passive cleanse is on phase 1 of floor 2. You can trigger the gimmick that you can accidentally like full cleanse yourself, and then you end up ruining the run. And it's a little bit more RNG based. But apart from that, it's not too bad. And Melee's a very good DPS. But I would say consistency for damage. If you want damage consistency, Thor or Shion are the 2 that I would say damage consistency is easily the best with. Melee's good, but once again, when he's run out of his attack-related stats, he's then basically useless for the rest of the turn, unless you've got golden skills, or you've got 6/6 ultimate, and realistically, you're not going to have a 6/6 melee ult, a 6/6 Demon King melee ult. Card set, this is the one you do want. This is actually the right card set this time. 10% basic stat boost, as well as a 10% defense related stat boost when you have food poisoning. So it doesn't go any higher than 10%, even if you have like 20 food poisoning debuffs, you're only still getting 10% defense related stat boost, which is still kind of handy, especially when characters in this team don't really have the best stats. Her gear is probably wrong. Yeah, her gear is wrong. We're just going to go to Meg. Go to Meg real quick. We'll take Miguel's gear. When I used her for the showcase video with Lance, she had HP defense. She had that gear. She actually had that gear set on. So I'd recommend that gear set. Let's go to gear real quick. So Everyone looks like they're running HP defense, so we have attack crit on Shield, and that is just normal attack crit gear. HP defense on Liz, no funky rolls. Valenti is actually running my green OG Valenti gear, and it works. It works fine. I have no problems with it. It's all good. Skadi, you'd run HP defense, and if you're running Glocks instead of Skadi, you'd also be running HP defense on Glocks as well. For links wise, that Diane's holding that gear because it's currently on green Valentine's Day Diane, so don't worry about that. That'd also still be HP defense. We'd want to give everyone HP defense here, apart from of course your DPS, so you'd give Sariel Link, which with attack crit. So generally, who gets targeted? These two. Well, if you're running Skadi, it'll probably be Skadi. If you're running Glocks, it'll probably be Valenti. But sometimes it gets a little bit quirky, and it will just go for whoever. It just decides it wants to go for whoever. But generally, that's it for all the demonic beasts. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.